tonight. You find love in a subway car. You find love in some shabby room. You alone when it's up for two.
He said, what's that playing on the radio? Why do I start swaying to and fro? I have never heard that song before, but if I don't hear it anymore, it's still
Two lost souls on the highway of life. We ain't even got a sister or brother. Ain't it just great? Ain't it just grand? We got each other. Flesh and blood. I know that look in a stranger's eyes. The fire that cuts through the clouds in the sky. A ray of hope that you can rely. Will never die, will never die.
C, 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 A minor, F, 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 G, 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 G7, C, 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 A minor, F, 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 G, 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 G7. What's that playing on the radio? Why do I start swaying to and fro? I have never heard that song before, but if I don't hear it anymore, it's still familiar to me, sends a thrill right through me, 'cause those chords remind me of the night that I first fell in love too. Those magic changes, my heart arranges a melody.
Songs to make you free, and songs to take you to another time. Forgotten reasons that are made of rhyme for you and me. The songs of life that somehow make us free. So before we end and then begin, let's drink a toast to how it's been. A few more hours to be complete. A few more nights on satin sheets. A few more times that I can say I've loved these Hi, hello everyone, welcome. Tonight we have something pleasurable and really special. We have the pleasure of bringing you love songs in their various guises and the pride, the real pride of our intimate salute to the 50th anniversary of the opening of Grease on Broadway, which was February 14th, Valentine's Day, in 1972. Really? Accompanying us this evening is dear friend and longtime music director, Ian Herman. I woke up singing this morning, got up on the right side of bed. I woke up singing this morning and wondering what was ahead. I took one good look at the sun, and I was the luckiest one. It's a most unusual day. Feel like throwing my worries away. As two old broken-in gals from Brooklyn would say, it's a most unusual day. There's a most unusual sky, not a sign of a cloud passing by. And if I want to sing, throw my heart in the ring, it's a most unusual day. There are people meeting people. There is sunshine everywhere. There are people greeting people, and a feeling of spring in the air. A unusual time. I keep feeling my temperature climb. If my heart won't behave in the usual way, then there's only one thing to say. It's a most unusual, most unusual, most unusual day. I tried them all. Ian keeps and I keep changing the endings of songs. I didn't know which one to do, so I did them all. Are you still there? My co-star, my lovely friend for this performance is actor, singer, songwriter. She'll be singing some of her own songs tonight, Eileen Kristen. You've seen her as Delia in Ryan's Hope, and Foxy Roxy in One Life to Live, and on New York stages in Henry, Sweet Henry, and Broadway's Mayor, and many experimental works. She just keeps going. Last summer, when Eileen and I sang together here in Live from Skylight Run, we discovered that Eileen had lived in Brooklyn, only a block away from me, when I was 17 and she was 6. And Eileen's dad let her ride her bicycle on our block. But I guess we had to wait another 15 years before we actually met. We shared a dressing room during Broadway's original Grease, where she was the original Patty and I was Sandy. And what a blessing. We've been friends now for 50 years.
Carol, once again, I have to apologize for how sloppy I was in the dressing room.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just
You're
going to keep on
forgiven.
apologizing for it.
You
I
were
really
forgiven
was.
50 years ago.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, it's Valentine's Day month, so would you be my Valentine?
Anytime, Eileen, anytime.
Oh, this song is by Paul McCartney.
What if it rained? We didn't care. He said that someday soon the sun was gonna shine. And he was right. This love of mine, my Valentine. As days and nights would pass me by, I tell myself that I was waiting for a sign. Then he appeared, a love so fine, my Valentine. And I will love him for life. And I will never let a day go by without remembering the reasons why. He makes me certain that I can fly.
and so I do, without a care. I know that someday soon the sun is gonna shine,
and he'll be there, this love of mine, my Valentine. What if it rained? We didn't care. He said that someday soon the sun was gonna shine, and he was right, this love of mine, my Valentine. My Valentine. Hey, girl, not bad. Okay, I'm leaving you.
All right, not too much flop set. Flop sweat. I wrote this next song, and it's an expression that I always liked. I never exactly knew what it meant. The expression is 5 o'clock shadow, and I believe it was a term that the British people used for, and we have adopted it, of course, when a man shaves in the morning, and then by 5 o'clock he's got that nice stubble. Well, I want to introduce the love of my life, who not only has a 5 p.m. 5 o'clock shadow, but he also has a 5 a.m. shadow as well.
That's true. Saw my 5 o'clock shadow this morning.
Yeah. Oh, you did. I guess we're going to get springs pretty soon then. Okay, Ian. You're never where you say you are, but I don't really care. We shared a lot of this and that, historic wear and tear. But you're the one I wanna run my fingers through your hair. Don't you know that is so? And more about my syndrome, and damn, I'm in one now. And even if I want it out, I really don't know how. 'Cause logic comes along and puts me in my place. All I wanna do is rub my cheek against your face. Oh no, your 5 o'clock shadow drives me crazy. Oh, I will follow your 5 o'clock shadow, shadow, shadow. When you tell your friends, oh man, I can't resist her, well then I'll tell the world that you're my special mister, and how the winds of change finally will blow. Are you gonna blow that? Watch them blow. So when we get together, it'll be a lovely ride. You're gonna have this friend right there at your side. And if you got the notion, we could take it slow and lay low. Oh no, your 5 o'clock shadow drives me crazy. Oh, I will follow your 5 o'clock shadow, shadow. Go Ian. Woo! Yeah! Go, Gary, go. o'clock shadow will drive me crazy. Oh, I will follow the 5 o'clock shadow. Shadow. Whew. All right. I skipped a part of my own song.
Just the bridge.
Just the bridge. I'm out of here for a little
And
bit.
before you go,
Yes.
the name of your handsome.
Oh, Gary Donatelli. And I am a
case you
very,
forgot.
very, very lucky woman.
Yeah, she is. Wait till you see him, see how he looks. Wait till you hear him laugh. Painters of paintings, writers of books, never could tell the half. Wait till you feel the warmth of his glance, pensive and sweet and wise, all of it lovely, all of it thrilling. I'll never be willing to free him. When you see him, you won't believe your eyes. And here's our special guest, Greece's original Duty, a charmer, if ever there was one. When I asked Jim, who moved on to work in film and television, what he'd like me to say about him, he said, "Tell them I like my life and I'm a lucky man." And so here he is, that happy, lucky James Canning.
Hello. Here's a song that I always like to sing when life gets difficult or troublesome. I'd rather be sailing, yes I would, on an open sea. I'd stand at the railing if I could, feeling wild and free. The sun is on my neck, the wind is in my face, the water's incredibly blue, and I'd rather be sailing. Yes, I'd want to go sail and then come home to you. Sex is good, but I'd rather be sailing. Food is nice, but I'd rather be sailing. People are swell, but I'd rather be sailing over the horizon. And I'd rather be sailing, yes I would, on an open sea. I'd stand there inhaling if I could, feeling wild and free. The sun is on my neck, the wind is in my face, the sea is incredibly blue, and I'd rather be sailing. Yes, I'd want to go sail and then come home to to you. I'd rather be sailing, yes, I'd want to go sail and then come home to you. Thank you.
It's just really too bad that after 50 years you can't sing anymore. That's true. Oh my God. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Van Gogh, like many artists, poured his love and his passion into his great and treasured work. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul, shadows on the hills. Sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met. The ragged men in ragged clothes, the silver thorn of bloody rose lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never will. Thanks, Ian. Got me through that one.
Are you sure you want to leave? Are you sure? You can all hang out with me.
I'm sorry, you have to go out there.
No, do I have to do this all alone?
No, come on, come
Oh
on.
my God! You know, we're gonna do old school thing. So this is a song that I wrote in homage to all the writers that I really loved, and also, well, I wrote this with Scott Yanni, who I also wrote 5 O'Clock Shadow with, and. But also, I had this remembrance of Second Avenue, and I'm just thinking about it and everything that happened on Second Avenue when we did the show at the Eden Theater. So that's included in this song, a wee bit. Okay. Woo! Woo! Ooh, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Rewind to way back when Steely Dan sang, "Do it again." Sweet moments that I miss, you and me dancing to Prince's Kiss. I smile when people say things were better back in the day, when Stevie Wonder would sing, "Don't you worry about a thing." Second Avenue running wild, you calm me down with "Ooh, ooh, child." Years later, here lies the truth. I kinda miss that corner phone booth. So let's go back to the day when we worked hard at play, and I fell into a trance when I fell in love to Moondance. Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Marvin Gaye is on my mind, Soul Train isn't far behind. Jose strumming Light My Fire, Al Green preaching to the choir. The Rolling Stones would rock me to sleep. Etta James could make me weep. Don't know what the future may bring, but Elvis is still king. Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Yeah. Don't we live in interesting times? If our lives are spent online, flashback to way back when Carole King said, "You got a friend." Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Take me back to that take me back to that old school thing. Take me back, take me back. Take me back, take me back. Take me back, take me back. Whoa. Whoa, that's the most fun that's ever been. See, I didn't want to do it alone. I really didn't.
Look how much fun you are.
Hey, Jimmy, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you still playing guitar?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked.
Oh, yeah. And also, I have another really good question for you. What was Duty's last name?
It was Duty Duty. As far as I know.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip over here, you're gonna flip over there.
Greece. It was an intense, jubilant, over-the-top, terrifying, vibrant adventure. We are thrilled to salute the 50th anniversary of our opening night on Broadway in 1972, February 14th, Valentine's Day. By this time, we're scattered throughout the country. Most of us are in California. Well, with this intimate offering from New York, we could not hope to do full justice to our very unique and now iconic show. But we bring you our personal memories, and we share our gratitude for an experience that changed our lives, and for our 50 years of friendship that bloomed and is still growing.
Why don't you move to the center?
So, we're going to start it off with a little gem of a rock and roll song that was sadly sort of overlooked in the show. You see, it was buried in the second act. Actually, literally buried. It was in the Jan's basement scene. And in the Jan's basement scene, well, Rizzo thinks he might be pregnant, and Kanicki thinks he might be the father, and all of the Burger Palace boys are going crazy and laughing and pointing, and all the girls are just going crazy around Rizzo. And meanwhile, over in the corner of the basement, under the stairway, Duty and Roger are singing this song. And of course, no one was listening.
No, we were.
We were.
We
Well,
were.
yeah, in the wings, but
No, we
no
were,
one in
really.
the audience was listening because so much was going on in the scene. So here it is, a cute little rock and roll song from the second act of Grease called Party Queen.
La 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 la. Little girl, you know who I mean. Pretty soon she'll be 17. They tell me her name's Betty Jean, a rock and roll party queen. Friday night and she's got a date, going places just to stay out late, dropping dimes in the record machine. Oh, my rock and roll party queen. Bumpa, 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 oh no, can I have the car tonight? Baby, baby, can I be the one to love you with all my might? Ay, 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 ay. She's the girl that all the kids know. They talk about her wherever she goes. I could write a fan magazine about my rock and roll party queen. Bumpa, 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 you should see her rocking at this high school dance. Baby, baby, no, don't call it puppy love. Don't you want a true romance? Ay, 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 ay. Rocking and a rolling little party queen. We're gonna do the stroll at party queen. You know I love you so, my party queen. You're my rockin' and my rollin' party queen.
Rock and roll party queen. Yeah, it's a good
We never got to sing that. It was fun.
I always wanted to just be out there
right.
while you were doing it.
Here, I'm gonna go to my stool.
Okay,
That's
you're
what
gonna
it
go
says
to your
to do.
stool. Okay, we do this little do-si-do. Okay, so the other night, this is right? Yeah, I think this is right. So the other night we were on a Zoom call, and well, there was a special request for a song that I had done the last time, and this was Patty Simcox's song, and it was right after Summer Nights, and well, there was a lot of intricate choreography behind it, which I thought was great, but there were like a lot of old Playboy magazines being shown. But Well, I'll sing it to you, and then I'll tell you what happened. I was singing a little.
I'm gonna get out of here.
When I pass him on the street, he goes, yuck. When I'm sitting in the movies and I take a nearby seat, he goes, blah. When I stick my pom-poms in his face at some athletic meet, he goes, and I know he really thinks I'm neat. Well, a boy like that is certainly the rarest, one who's scared to look directly in your eye. When I try to talk to him, he gets embarrassed, and he mumbles while he fumbles with his fly. Cha-cha-cha. Okay, so, the song made it one preview, just one preview. And, maybe it's for the better. I heard in the newest productions that they're doing that Patty does this song while sitting on the toilet. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But, when I was auditioning for the show, yeah, no, it's yuck. But that's what I heard. So when I was auditioning and I got a call back, I kept on telling my agent that I wanted to go in for Marty. And every time I got a call back, I said, could I read for Marty also? So I'm going to fiddle around with Freddie, My Love, but I'm going to dedicate this to Katie Handley. And also, I want to dedicate this to Joy Rinaldi, because I heard her sing it a lot.
Joy was the understudy who understudied everybody. Everybody.
Well, just a little story. I had pneumonia. I didn't want to tell anybody, and Joy was on for somebody else, and I had to call up Joy and say, call that person and tell. My doctor has just told me that I am going to die. So I don't think I mentioned it to him. I think I told the stage manager that I had bronchitis or something, but anyway. So Joy was a wonder, If she could go on for 2 parts at the same time, believe me, she would.
She once covered Duty. That's how good she
I hope she knew
really
what
did.
his
She
last
came
name
out
was.
with
She does a lot of research. I'm sure she figured out what his last name was. Okay. I'm gonna need help. Freddie, my love, I miss you more than words can say. Freddie, my love, please keep in touch while you're away. Oh, yeah. Hearing from you can make the day so much better. Getting a souvenir or maybe a letter. I really flipped over the gray cashmere sweater. Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love. Freddie, your absence makes me feel so blue. That's okay though, your presence make me think of you. Sure they do. Mama will have a heart attack when she catches those pedal pushers with the black leather patches. Oh, how I wish I had a jacket that matches. Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love. Oh, don't keep your letters from me. I thrill to every line. Your spelling's kinda crummy, but honey, so is mine. I treasure every gifty. The ring is really nifty. You say it 'cause you're 50, so you're thrifty. I don't mind. Whoa. Freddie, you'll see, you'll hold me in your arms someday. Freddie, my love. And I will be wearing your lacy lingerie. Oh, yeah. Thinking about it, my heart's pounding already. Knowing when you come home, we're bound to go steady. And throw your service pay around like confetti. Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love. Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love, Freddie, my love. Freddie, my love. All right, that's out of my system. Okay, I can go on the next 50
You had to
years.
wait 50 years to
Look
get
at
to
me.
sing.
I got sweat all over me. Woo. Okay,
Where are we?
we are
Magic.
Magic Changes.
All
You know, I did that
guitar.
once.
Fill in a
Okay.
big
Okay.
guitar.
She's
Well-
speechless. Absolutely speechless. Yeah.
All right, there's a story to be told here.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Stuart's writing something to me, and it says cowl. I don't know who that is.
So,
Right on.
so,
Carol,
so
here. But
So
move it
this
up.
is going to be Magic Changes. But there's a little story about this. You see, there was an initial production of this in Chicago, a sort of a workshop almost. And I was in it. And there was a song called That Rock Progression that Warren Casey wrote one night in about 10 minutes. And then a year later, I get a call. I'm in Chicago. I'm a student. I'm teaching in the public schools, like a full-time substitute teacher. And then Jacobs calls me from New York. He says, Canning, they haven't cast Duty yet. They've got all the people cast in the show. They like everybody. They haven't found a Duty they like. So why don't you come to New York, fly to New York, give it a shot. So I went to New York. I stayed at the Beacon, and I go to this big Broadway theater for the audition. And I'd never been in a Broadway theater. And I go up and I sing the song, and I did the song pretty well because I knew it. It was pretty much the same song. And then they said, well, okay, we want you to come back and read with people. So I took a little break and I walked around the theater and I actually got lost up in the balcony of the theater. And I think it was Maxine. Jim Canning, where's Jim Canning? And they finally found me and they dragged me on stage. And so I come on stage with all of these equity actors. Most of them have been cast. There was Bostwick was there, Barry Bostwick, Walter Bobby, and Tim Myers, and then that Italian guy that everyone loved, but
Jim Borelli.
yeah, no, it was the other Italian guy. The first Italian.
Oh, right.
So I'm up there doing the scene with these equity actors, and they had never seen me. I hadn't done any auditions. Walter said that was like his 15th callback. And so I'm doing the scene, and it comes to my one line in the scene, which I said, "Hey, Kanicki, neat dice." And it got a laugh out in the darkness, like out in the house. And I thought, oh, that's probably a good sign. And so I got the part that day. And I think all of those guys, that were on stage with me probably looked at me and said, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And then I got the part, and then here's the song that Warren Casey wrote in 10 minutes called Magic Changes. C, 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 A minor, F, 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 G, 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 G7, C, 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 A minor, F, 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 G, 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 G7. What's that playing on the radio? Why do I start swaying to and fro? I have never heard that song before, but if I don't hear it anymore, it's still familiar to me, sends a thrill right through me, 'cause those chords remind me of the night that I first fell in love to those magic changes. My heart arranges a melody that's never the same, a melody that's calling your name and begs you, please come back to me, please return to me, don't go away again, or make them play again. The music I want to hear is once again you whisper in my ear. Oh, my darling, oh yeah. Ooh. This is the dance part. I put this in. I wrote this. I'll be waiting by the radio. You'll come back to me someday, I know.
I've been so lonesome since your last goodbye. But I'm crying as I cry, while the bass is sounding, while those drums are pounding, beating up my broken heart. Will climb to first place on the chart. My heart arranges those magic changes. Yeah, yeah, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, oh, 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 yeah. Whoa, that was it. Thank you.
You still got those high notes.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, I forgot those high notes. Still there.
Okay.
Which way does this go? This way, I think.
Yeah.
The microphone dance. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Okay.
Choreography.
Yes. Yeah. Bye.
Stuart.
Stuart. Well, it's Rydell High prom night. Sandy is in her bedroom, totally miserable, wearing her bathrobe and sadly singing along with the radio. I know exactly how she felt. My senior high school prom night in Brooklyn in 1957 was pretty much of a heartbreak. The boy I adored, and I was sure he was going to ask me to the prom, didn't. In a huge high school, a senior class of around 800 kids, nobody asked me. In those days, you had to have a date. I never wore my dress.
That's pathetic.
I know. I was deprived of a young girl's dream by the cruel force of nature from the blue. Instead of a night full of romance supreme, all I got was a runny nose and Asiatic flu. It's raining on prom night. My hair is a mess. It's running all over my taffeta dress. It's wilting, the quilting in my maiden form, and mascara flows right down my nose because of the storm. I don't even have my corsage, oh gee. It fell down a sewer with my sister's ID. Yes, it's raining on prom night. Oh, my darling, what can I do? I miss you. It's raining rain from the skies. It's raining real tears from my eyes over you. Oh, dear God, please let him feel the same way I do right now. Make him want to see me again. Oh, what can I do? It's raining, rain from the skies. It's raining, tears from my eyes over you. Raining, ooh, raining. Look at me. There has to be something more than what they see. Wholesome and pure, also scared and unsure. A poor man's Sandra Dee. When they criticize and make fun of me, can't they see the tears in my smile? Don't they realize one of me, and it has to last me a while. On the phone. Hello, Frenchie? Hey, could you come over for a while and bring your makeup case? Sandy, you must start anew. Don't you know what you must do? Hold your head high, take a deep breath, and cry. Goodbye to Sandra Dee. Whoa. Whoa. What year is this?
There's vodka waiting for you
Yeah.
later.
Oh, great. In June of this year, we will have the opportunity to celebrate together in person not only those 50 years, but the much anticipated release of our book, Grease. Tell me more, tell me more. It comes as close as possible to telling the Grease stories as experienced by those of us who were in the story. All of us, backstage, on stage, in the orchestra pit, in the house, production offices, and more, through the entire Broadway run, 8 national tours, and 2 first-class West End productions. Special thanks to Tom Moore, Adrienne Barbeau, and Ken Waisman, who wrangled our 100 or more personal submissions into what must be a must-read theater book, unlike any other. Tonight, we send 50 years of love to the original Broadway cast and our inspiring team.
Adrienne Barbeau,
Don Billett,
Walter Bobby,
Jim Borelli,
Barry Bostwick,
James Canning,
Carol Demas,
Katie Hanley,
Tom Harris,
Eileen Kristen, Dorothy Leon,
Timothy Myers,
Kathy Moss,
Alan Paul,
Marius Small,
Garn
Garn
Stevens,
Jeff Conaway,
Joy Rinaldi,
the director, Tom Moore,
choreographer Patricia Burt,
musical director Louis St. Louis,
costume designer, Carrie F. Robbins.
and writers Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey.
producers Kenneth Waisman and Maxine Fox.
And here he is, our brilliant and beloved producer, Ken Waisman. Come on in, Ken.
Hey, Jim.
Hello, hello.
Good.
Hi.
Good. You know, before we start, I just have to say, we still are apologizing to Eileen because we didn't tell her that we have cut a yuck. In the pressure of things, you know, somehow it just got overlooked. So all of a sudden, Eileen is.
Well, we're in the note session, and, you know, usually they would tell you before the note session. So Tom is saying, you know, the play works pretty well until right after Summer Nights. So we're cutting Yuck. And it was just like a shock to my system because I just didn't know. So I remember kind of crying, and, you know, Carol was sitting in back of me, and I think she really felt terrible.
I knew this hurt.
Yeah. Well, it does. It hurts even if you're told beforehand in the proper way. But this was really so. So Moore, the director, and myself, we've been apologizing to Eileen for 50 years.
That's okay. That's
But
okay.
what happened was Jim and Warren loved that song, the authors, and we agreed that we would have it in for the first preview at least. But it pulled the whole show down, and it took a while to get everything back.
No, it did.
So we came to that decision. We knew we had to. And so the first night, Eileen sings Yuck. But the second night, we have Jim Canning singing Magic Changes, because we brought that into that slot.
I moved right into the
Right.
top of the first act.
I had said that
Can't beat that.
I had said to Tom Moore, Magic Changes was sort of wasted in the second act somewhere. I said, it's Duty's song, you know, and it also gives the structure of rock and roll, which is, when we did Grease, when we first opened, it was like, it wasn't even nostalgia. People hadn't thought about it because the 60s made the 50s seem like they were in the 1800s. So I said, why don't you move that? And Tom said, yeah, let's try it.
Okay, so Ken,
Yeah,
just tell me something. So you wanted to be a producer since you were a child.
yes.
So why don't you tell us a
I
little
was 7
bit
years
about
old,
that? Uh-huh.
and my parents brought me to New York, and we saw 3 shows in 3 nights. The first one was Finian's Rainbow, the original production, and I was 7 years old and totally mesmerized. I couldn't believe that these adults on stage, this is what they did when they went to work. And also at 7, I was kind of captivated with who's the boss of this and who's the boss of that. So when we're walking up the aisle, I said to my dad, who's the boss of this? And he said, the producer. And right then and there, I said, when I grow up, I'm going to move to New York and be a Broadway producer. Now, I got one quick thing about that, because about 15 years ago, I'm walking in the Village in New York, and one of these, you know, where they have the lots with all the old products and everything they're selling, there's a long table with souvenir programs. My parents never bought souvenir programs. I remember the playbill. And there was the original souvenir program for Finian's Rainbow. So I picked it up, and I'm looking through it. This was on sale the night I was there, I didn't know. The very last page had an article by the producer, and the title was, So You Want to Be a Producer. Eerie, huh?
Very good. So I was mentioning before Magic Changes that I was in this sort of a workshop show production in Chicago a year before Grease opened in New York, and I was just curious how you found first of all how did you find that show in Chicago? It was a little trolley barn community theater
Out of the way.
on the weekends. How did you find it, and how did you know you found something?
Well, I got a call from my college roommate. Actually, we've been high school friends too. He had become a dentist and was taking an orthodontic course that summer in Chicago. And he called me and he said, my wife and I went to this little basement theater. It's a community theater. It's in the basement of an old trolley barn. And we saw this show, which was about all the drape and drapettes that used to hang out in the back of our high school. In Baltimore, our hometown, we didn't call them greasers like everybody else. We called them drapes because, and their girlfriends were drapettes. So I said, so I asked around, Finally, I did find somebody in New York, in the business who said, oh yeah, it's some little community theater. They're doing this little thing on weekends. And I thought, oh, really? Then my friend Phil Markin called me back. And he said, I'm thinking about this and you should really come out and see it. He knew that I was looking for a new show. I had already done 2 by then. And he said, I think you should really come out and see this. Now, Phil was a major pessimist. As a matter of fact, in high school, it got to the point where he couldn't say anything nice. He didn't want to ruin his reputation. So when he said that, I thought maybe I should, So got on a plane, flew to Chicago. He and his wife met me at the airport. We went to the theater, the Kingston Mines Theater. We walked right into this little basement there, and they handed us a newspaper because there were no seats. So we sit on the floor, And I look up and I see painted brown paper was the scenery, and you could see the drip marks. But when the show started, I saw my entire yearbook come to life. I knew every one of these people. I could tell you who they were and everything. So I was mesmerized. And it was mostly book. It was about 70% book and 30% music. But and the book really, wasn't the book that we ended up with on Broadway. Danny and Sandy were part of the ensemble, but they weren't the arc, principal characters. But I knew these guys had the talent, and I thought they could change this little gem, rewrite this little gem into a full Broadway musical. So I met with them afterwards, and I told them that. And I also told them that the thing that was so terrific about what they did here, even though some of the songs, had to go, and even we had to rethink the book and bring Danny and Sandy to the front, but even with all of that, they had the talent, I said to them, to transform this into a Broadway musical And the thing that they did so brilliantly in Chicago was that you thought those people were real. It was your yearbook coming to life whenever you went to high school and or thought about high school as a younger person. And I said, we have to keep that authenticity. I want the audience to feel that these are real high school kids from that period. They don't take their costumes off. They keep the same clothes. They go out for hamburgers after the show. And I said, so every choice will have to reflect that, the director, the choreographer. And that is how we chose everybody. Tom Moore to direct, Pat Birch to choreograph. She really was great with actors who were not really dancers, and she really could choreograph off of character to make everybody look real. So that was our watchword, you know.
It's just great. Thank you for telling us. Well, a lot of people wondered because, you know, my husband happened to be in Chicago. He sat on that floor with a newspaper, on the floor. And when he told me later, we didn't even know each other then. He said he heard this thing was coming into New York, to Broadway, and he said, wow. He couldn't imagine because he said it was so crude. It was so rough. The kids with their mouths. How could they put this on Broadway? But you did it.
And we got rid of the drip marks too.
You did it. Right. Well, how did you feel? And when suddenly you were auditioning people and
well,
and then you had to sit through all of those previews.
Well,
where
we didn't go out of
things
town.
changed.
Yeah, we didn't go out of town. In those days, sometimes you went out of town, sometimes you didn't. We had 3 weeks, though, of previews in New York, which was like being out of town. And the first night, everything went wrong. By the way, you did ask me about the auditions. We auditioned over 2,000 actors to find the 16 to be in the show. And again, that was because we needed really good actors who could convince you that they weren't actors. We needed actors who could sing really well because the score demanded it. And we needed actors who could move well enough for Pat Birch to make them look like real dancers. So that was not easy in casting. And people would come in and, you know, we think, oh, they're wonderful, but they're not right for Grease. In some cases, people that we just knew they had the talent, they were going to go somewhere, but they weren't right for us. We'd have headaches at the end of the day because everybody that walked in, we wanted to be the one we're looking for the role. I know, you know, and of course it's an intimidating process for the actors. And our book, Grease, Tell Me More, has a lot of their stories about coming into auditions and so forth. So it's a rough time. That kind of a process you have to go through. So, you know, we finally did that. We went into rehearsals. In rehearsals, you know, things often seem to go fine. And then you have the first performance in front of an audience. Everything went wrong.
We were
everything
there.
went wrong. And also the stagehands forgot to put the table in for summer nights, the cafeteria table, and we were using a real one. But Pat Birch had done all the choreography for summer nights. You couldn't do it without the table. So Tom Moore in the back, you know, we're trying to run backstage. We didn't have the kind of technology we have now. He had to run backstage. But it didn't matter because on his way to run back, Adrienne Barbeau was making her entrance as Rizzo, carrying the entire cafeteria table under her arm. And she slammed it down in place.
Armenians.
Oh my God!
So the stagehands took her aside at intermission, and they said, Adrienne, lift the table. Of course, she couldn't. The power of adrenaline.
Wow.
She said, I just knew it had to be there.
Yes, because I had to stand up on top of it, actually.
Right.
So I'm very grateful that you did that.
Yeah, thank you, Adrienne.
Ken, most of the early reviews weren't what we were exactly hoping for, but we knew that the audiences loved it. So how did you build the word of mouth?
Well, the word of mouth was building by itself. I sensed it because the box office kept going up and up each week during previews, little bit. We were still losing money, but it was going up. And however, the reviews were not the most exciting. You know, we did get some. The Daily News review by Dick Watt was excellent. It was terrific. The New York Post review by Douglas Watt.
Yeah.
And the New York Post review by Richard Watts was a total, complete pan. And it went that way elsewhere too. But and the New York Times review was Well, when you actually read it later, there were some compliments in there, but it was not a terribly good review. So the first thing, of course, when that happens, the general manager of the production, the attorney for the production, they have to protect the producers, and we were in debt already from preview losses. So they said, you should put the notice up. I said, absolutely not, because the box office is growing slowly. If we put the notice up, all of Broadway, all of the press will know that we're a failure. I said, so we're not going to do that. And I said, we'll just gamble. So we ended up putting together big ads to take, full-page ads in the Times. And I said, why don't we take that rave review from Doug Watt and repackage it as a New York Post review by Richard Watts, they'll think, you know. And we did that. The agency said, okay, let's try it. We got it there just before the deadline, so they didn't notice, you know. And it came out in the paper. Everybody thought the New York Post gave us a rave. The New York Post threatened to sue the ad agency, but they didn't in the end. And then we also had the general manager's office. Anybody calling for house seats, which is a courtesy, you have to pay for them, but it's a courtesy. You set aside good seats for people in the business, people in the industry, press, other people like that. And I said to my general manager, there are no tickets. We have no house seats. So word got around, and finally a New York magazine put us on one of the hot ticket lists because we had no house seats. Each week it went up, and by the third week we were breaking even. It was beginning.
All right.
Well, thanks for hanging in there.
Well,
Yeah, thank you.
I think our hearts would have been broken if we'd walked in and saw that
Oh,
bulletin
that
board
would have
with
been
a
notice.
closing notice on it. We loved each other. We wanted this show to work. We worked so hard.
But that's good producing.
Yes, it is.
Because you
Thank
not
you.
only
Thank
just
you.
have to get a show up, you got to be able to keep it open. Like I
Well,
heard
if
the
it-
reviews weren't good on Wicked, and they really.
yeah, but they were already selling out.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
cared. And fortunately,
But you
by the
did
time
it.
Wicked opened, the New York Times couldn't make or break a show anymore. But they could when Grease opened.
Yeah.
They sure could.
But I saw that the box office was building. Look, if there was no life at all, if there was no pilot light, I'm not nuts. We would have had to close. But I saw it.
You could feel the excitement.
Yeah,
in
I
the
could feel
audience.
it.
You really
Yeah.
could. The time was really,
Thank you,
really
Ken,
right.
for sharing these backstage
Well, there'll be more,
stories.
there'll be
but
more.
we have something we're dedicating to you.
Oh.
I think you should find yourself a seat,
Okay.
and as soon as you're settled,
And you're going to sing this song?
We're going to get into
Okay,
it.
great. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Ken. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We're ready.
We're ready.
They all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laughed when Edison recorded sound. They all laughed at Wilbur and his brother when they said that man could fly. They told Marconi wireless was a phony. It's the same old cry. They laughed at me wanting you. Said I was reaching for the moon, but oh, you came through. Now they'll have to change their tune. They all said we never could be happy. They laughed at us and how. But ho, 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 who's got the last laugh now?
They all laughed at Rockefeller Center. Now they're fighting to get in.
They all laughed at Whitney and his cotton gin.
They all laughed at Fulton and his steamboat, Hershey and his chocolate bar. Ford and his Lizzie kept the laughers busy. That's how critics are. They laughed at Grease, sad but true. The critics said hello, goodbye. But oh, we came through.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're eating humble pie. So now the press.
Reviews.
The show is a thin joke.
Grease is a tonic.
The songs are just too awful.
The songs alone are impossible to resist.
Largely devoid of melody.
Practically every number is a showstopper.
The characters are neither interesting nor particularly attractive.
The cast is delightfully grimy.
The cast is too old.
The energy is altogether youthful.
An unattractive lot.
The young cast is a knockout.
Some of the students looked as if they'd been there 20 or 30 years.
15 perfectly selected performers.
The characters are shallow and stupid.
I have to admit, the audience loved it.
Essentially ugly and debasing.
You know, those tough kids, they begin to grow on you.
The outfits are ghastly.
Brilliant costuming.
The look of the production is shabby, makeshift, and seedy.
Ingenious scenery.
Deliberately loudmouth and faceless tastelessness that some will find attractive.
Entertains from start to finish.
The 1950s is one of the dullest decades on record. Better forgotten.
All around me, there were shouts of uninhabited. No, I was uninhibited. I'm going to do that again. All around me, there were shouts of uninhibited jubilation.
Yay! Director Tom Moore is a master Svengali.
Unflagging choreography by Pat Birch.
Leading contender for best show of the season.
Grease played 3,388 performances, and Grease was nominated for 7 Tony Awards. In April 1980, it closed as the longest-running show on Broadway.
Critics said we'd never get together. Greasers all, let's take a bow. For ho, 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 who's got the last laugh? Shoo-bop, shoo-wada, wada, let's have the past laugh. Sha-na-na-na-na-na, we got the last laugh now. Okay.
That was fun.
Well, you know, I wrote I wrote a song for my parents on their 50th wedding anniversary. And then the person I wrote it with, I wrote a song dedicated to him. I changed it around. And then I wrote the song Still in Love with Love for my album. But now I'm changing it back to 50 years of love to the people that I love so much. So much. You mean so much to me. When the day is done and I've run adrift, I think of Grease and my spirits lift. It's a situation fits like a glove, our 50 years of love. We were kids just having fun. My father said this show would never run, but can he pray to the gods above for 50 years of love? Oh, hey now, let's raise our glasses. Here's to the day that we met. Who knew what were the chances meeting on Zoom? Every chance that we get. Broadway shows, they run their course. Our chemistry is a powerful force, so we'll howl at the man in the moon above for 50 years of love. When the day is done and I go to bed, thoughts of a book roam round in my head. Tell me more, I'll be dreaming of and 50 years of love. Oh, hey now, let's raise our glasses. Here's to the day that we met. Who knew what were the chances seeing you on Zoom? Every chance that we get. let's celebrate. 'Cause June will be great, and life is one big mystery. As I'm looking at you in the next half century. 50 years of love. 50 years of love. 50 years of love. 50 years of love. Oh, thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thanks, guys. Love soft as an easy chair. Love fresh as the morning air. One love that is shared by two. I have found with you. Like a rose under the April snow. I was always certain love would grow. Love, ageless and evergreen, seldom seen by two. You and I will make each night a first, every day a beginning. Spirits rise and their dance is unrehearsed. They warm and excite us, 'cause we have the brightest love. Two lights that shine as one. Morning glory and the midnight sun. Time, we've learned to sail above. Time won't change the meaning of one love. Ageless and ever
I think that over all these years, the one overriding emotion that all of us feel that were in this original cast, or in all the casts, is that we're thankful. We're thankful for all these years of friendships and love. And this is a song about that. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake
counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and I let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I found a family of friends. No matter what rocks or brambles fill the way, I know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance, whatever stone life may sling. We can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful.
Well, that's kind of a tough act to follow. I hope you all felt what we feel tonight. And I thank you so much for joining us. I hope you felt our joy, as well as the fact that we're now practically sobbing up here. We thank Musée for continuing to give performing artists a platform that reaches far and wide. And before we sing our last song, we want to thank our talented friends, Gary Donatelli on harmonica, Grease original producer, Ken Weissman. Thank you, Ken. Our brilliant, amazing music director, Ian Herman. Woo-hoo. He has an upcoming album called Images. It's an incredible album. He actually sat down in a studio for parts of it and just started playing. And the stuff is so beautiful. You really must look for it. You really must enjoy it. Our special guest, James Canning.
Yay.
It still sings like an angel. And the incomparable, it's incomparable, whatever it is, Eileen Christie.
Inhabited.
Inhibited, no, that's not. Definitely not inhibited. And greasers out there, wherever you may be. Thank you all for joining us. This show was recorded, so your ticket makes this show available to you again on demand. Tickets may still be purchased, and this performance will remain permanently on musée.me for future viewing.
Oh boy.
And let me share with you that if you can believe it, while Grease was going on, I was also doing another job. In this profession, it's always feast or famine. I'll be celebrating another 50-year milestone. March 6th marks the 50th anniversary of the first TV broadcast of The Magic Garden, which became the most successful regional show in the history of children's television, starring my dear friend Paula Janis and me. It ran on WPIX TV and affiliated stations for 12 and a half years. You can check my website for information, caroldemas.com. Our series will return in the spring. Watch my website for signs of life. I'm sorry.
I gave you that look.
It says. I hope
My
you're having
website
fun out there because it says watch my website.
We go together like rabba ding a ding dong. Remember forever. Shoo wop, shoo wada wada yippity boom da boom. Chang chang, changity chang shabop. That's the way it should be. Wahoo, yeah. We're one of a kind, like hip to dip to dip do what to do we do. Our names are signed. Boogity 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 boogie shibby doo wop shabop. Chang chang, changity chang shabop. We'll always be like one. Wah 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 wah. When we go out at night and stars are shining bright up in the skies above, or at the high school dance where you can find romance, maybe it might be Rama lama lama, ka ding a ding dong, shoo wop shoo wada wada yippity boom da boom, chang chang, changity chang shabop, yip da dip doo wop da dooby doo, boogity 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 shooby doo wop shabop, shana na 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 yippity dip da boom. We're for each other like a wop wop a loo wop a wop and boom. Just like my brother is shana na 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 yippity dip da doom. Chang chang, changity chang shabop. We'll always be